These are basically the personal pronouns that we have in nominative, accusative, and dative. I've given an example where a sentence is in English and another in German, because Europe, English is basically the first European language that we have learned, right? So even when we don't want to compare, we keep on comparing how it sounds like or how it would look like if I form an English sentence in German or a German sentence in English. So these two sentences here are pretty self-explanatory. Like in English, the pronoun looks identical, you that is, but it's not the same if you look at the German sentence, the two sentences, Ich rufe dich an and du rufst mich an. So that is basically the difference between pronouns as we have it in German. Then this table here uh, covers some of the major accusative, dative, genitive, and vexel preposition. So accusative, we only have these many. There are some that are missing in the dative and genitive column, mainly because, like I said, these are just the major ones, not all. However, in vexel preposition, and these are the only prepositions we use. Now, when we will be reviewing prepositions, we will be looking at each and every preposition, how we use it, in which context. And then there's also another category of certain prepositions that are used both as an accusative and dative and genitive. One of them is entlang. It really depends in which context it's being used. Usually when it comes to the, as an umgangssprachlich is where people do use entlang in accusative or dative or genitive. And then there are certain prepositions that go with accusative, sorry, dative and genitive, depending upon whether it's spoken German, that is Hochdeutsch, spoken Hochdeutsch, or if it's written Hochdeutsch. So that's the thing. Then what we have here are basically the articles, definite article, and I've color coded them as well so that you can notice the similarities. So we have definite article, indefinite article. Along with that, we have negative article, possessive article, and interrogative and demonstrative article. So when we look at definite, interrogative, and demonstrative article, this is where we get to see that the neutral form has its own endung as well as the nominative masculine, ER. But that does not exist for indefinite article, negative article, and the possessive article. We don't have that here. So often these articles here, indefinite, negative, and possessive, these are also indicated with what we would call Einwörter, that is EIN is a part of this particular article, and that's why it would be Einwörter, that is indefinite, negative, and possessive article. And then we have bestimmte, interrogative, and demonstrative article, which are like their Wörter, their article. All right, so from here, we'll go to this part of adjective endungen. Yeah, so quickly, just one thing, just copy these two tables in your notebook so that as we solve the exercises, you can use it for reference. Okay. So coming back to the table, the first table, like I said, I refer to it as the table of E and EN. And the second table, like I said, it's basically a recycle table of the definite articles. Now, the unusual thing here is for neutral, nominative, and accusative. For the rest, what I've done basically is that I've extracted either last two characters or just the last character for some of these articles. For neutral, I had to change the das to es. Okay. Now, don't think of adjective endungen as the tables that you have to memorize or anything. Instead, think of it as the indicator for the noun. Because when we do use adjective endungen, it's either with an article followed by an adjective and a noun, or just an adjective and the noun. Hold on, I'll write it here. Or just the adjective and noun. So the role of adjective endungen becomes dominant only when there isn't an article at all. Otherwise, when we do have an article, we just blindly use table 1. So the logic is that if the article, I'll repeat it, if the article is explicitly telling you both the gender and the case of the noun, or if it's at least telling you the gender or the case of the noun, that's when you use table 1. Otherwise, if there isn't an article at all, or if there is an article but it's as good as not being an article anymore, only as in that's when you use table 2. Okay, so we will be looking at some exercises where we will be looking at sentences that do have an article, then sentences that do not have an article, then some sentences that do have an article, but it's not really helping us much. So we'll solve these exercises gradually. And at the end, we'll be solving 2 exercises where the sentences will be mixed. Everything will be jumbled up all over the place, sort of, so that it becomes easier for you to follow what's happening in each sentences. Also that you get to break each and every sentence down. Now, because we are looking at adjective endungen as the main theme, these exercises here do mention the gender of the noun as well. So wherever you see a noun that we have to use in context to adjective endungen will have the gender mentioned in the bracket next to it, as you can see in these sentences here. So what I'll do is that I'll solve the first 7 sentences and then you can solve the next 7. Okay, so what is the question for me here in this first exercise? There is article. Whether we have an article in this state sentences or not. I'll read the first sentence. Deutsch Brot schmeckt immer gut. No article, which means now adjective has to take the responsibility of being the article. And why do we need that? The point we have these many articles in German language is that it tells us the gender and the case of the noun. If not both, it at least tells us the gender or the case of the noun. So looking at this sentence, clearly it's the nominative, no article, which means I'll use table 2 and it will be Deutsches Brot schmeckt immer gut. That's it. Then the second sentence, wir können hier. Now wir indicates that there is a subject, so it's not nominative. And the verb, main verb is kaufen, which is here is being used in the context of accusative. Again, none of these sentences have an article. So how do I indicate that this masculine noun is accusative masculine? With en. So that's what I'll write. Accusative masculine, frischen. Then the next sentence, the noun is plural and it's also the nominative. So just e, following table 2. Sentence number 4, im Gasthof Leopold gibt es. This S is telling me that the sentence does have a nominative, which makes Musik the accusative. Accusative feminine, table 2, again E. Now, cafe, masculine noun, and it also happens to be the subject of this noun. So naturally, it's going to be starker. But when I go to the next, as the next part of the sentence, I notice that there is a prepositional object that is being followed with a dative preposition, which means this feminine noun will need to be dative feminine, for which the ending is again er. Now here we have 2 adjective endungen that end with er, but the context of both these er is completely different, isn't it? So that is the point essentially, that whether it's a nominative that we are looking at or an accusative or a prepositional object, The adjective ending will be a reflection of that particular noun. Then going on to the next sentence, ertrinkt. So we have nominative. Te will become the accusative, masculine.
Okay,
Very
sorry to interrupt here, but
yeah.
then when it says the feminine and the feminine adjective endungen and article is same for dative and genitive. So with only with the preposition or we need to have some signal there, right? Then only we can find out whether it is genitive or dative.
Yeah, but we do happen to have the preposition here, right?
Yes. Yes,
So
so that's what I'm saying. I mean, only there should be some signal, then only we can find out whether it is generative or not.
exactly. The same would apply to kleiner Kinder and originaler music as well. Like we are looking at everything that we have in the sentence. Now, genitive, the case is nothing but the relationship between two nouns, either a proper noun and a common noun, or a common noun and a proper noun, none of which is here. So you don't even have to guess if it's going to be genitive at all because this preposition mit is your hint. You don't need to read too much into it and figure out if there is a genitive or not. For this sentence, it's not needed. Mit itself is your hint, nothing else. Okay. So about hyphen, yeah, because te is masculine, so masculine accusative, we indicate it with en. And same for Honish, it will be en, but again we have mit here, the dative preposition. That will make it em, frisson. Dative, masculine, singular. Okay, so while this te is taking the ending en, Honish is taking the ending em, only because the first one is accusative and second is dative. Then on to the next sentence via sn. So that's again we do have a nominative. So super, feminine, and again with the prepositional object, gekochtem Fleisch. That's it. Okay. Try to solve these sentences from 8 to 40. The gender is mentioned here, so you need not worry about the gender of the nouns. Okay, so number 8.
Yeah. Mein Vater darf Fleisch essen und fettes.
Yeah.
Mein Vater darf fettes Fleisch nicht essen. Ich möchte armen,
Mhm.
arme Leuten helfen.
No, it says that it's a dative verb, right?
That
Helfen.
is
So this will
okay.
be
Armen.
dative plural. Yeah. Then the next.
You Younger,
Yeah,
younger man talks to the
that is correct.
plural. Einige,
Mhm.
einige Faule
Yeah.
haben nicht gelernt. Studenten haben nicht gelernt. Hier finden wir bayerisch, äh, bayerische,
Yeah, that is correct.
jung, junge Studentin sucht neue Mitbewohnerin.
Mhm.
Ich möchte viele, äh, ich möchte viele
Mhm.
schneller, Autos haben.
Yeah, that is correct. Okay, so I hope that you have the table copied down. We'll move on to
Yes.
the next exercise. Now here, the question is if the article is in its original form. So what does original form here mean is that the particular article is telling you not only the gender, but hopefully also the case of that particular noun. If not both, it's telling you at least one element, that is either the case or the gender. Okay, so what I'll do here is that I'll just highlight the articles one by one. So when you look at the articles, you know that all these articles for this particular exercise, that is, particularly tell us a specific case, and in most cases, the gender as well of the particular nouns that we have here. So this is where we use the E and EN table. Now, the best way to remember the E and EN table is that if you only look at the nominative, accusative, and dative, followed by masculine, feminine, neutrum, and plural, it's only this section that is going to take E. The rest takes EN. As simple as that. Okay. So, einer, dative feminine article, ending will be en. Einen, accusative masculine, en. Them, dative. Now, this could be neutral or masculine, but it doesn't matter because it's telling us the case. So, we'll go with that. Unseren, this could be either accusative masculine or dative plural, but again, it doesn't matter because we know that it is definitely showing us a specific case, either that is dative masculine or dative, sorry, accusative masculine or dative plural. For both, the ending happens to be en. So we just go with that. Then again, einer being dative feminine. Deinem, it could either be dative masculine or dative neutral, doesn't matter. It tells us that it's dative, we'll use en. Now, could you try and solve the next sentences here?
Okay. Ich will diesen kalte, kalte Kaffee nicht trinken.
Accusative masculine. What's the adjective ending? Look at the table.
Okay. En. Okay. Kalten Kaffee. Okay. Das ist die Tochter von meinem mm, Ben Onkel.
Mhm.
Ich hoffe auf äh, einen langen Sommer
That is correct.
in allen großen äh, Städten gibt es eine U-Bahn.
Mhm.
Äh, er hat seinem kleinen Bruder ein CD gegeben. Am Wochenende werde ich einen guten Film sehen.
That is correct. All right. Then moving on to the next two sections. Well, actually three. First being whether the noun is singular or plural. Then whether the article tells us the gender or not. And then the third where the article does tell us the gender. So the case with plural is easy because now that we know how to identify a singular and a plural form of a noun, while the article does confirm that the noun is plural, but again, yeah, there is a chance that it could also be feminine, right? Because in accusative and nominative, the article for feminine and plural are identical. But when we do take a look at the nouns, we do know for a fact that it's plural, for which the adjective endo is just en. So whenever you encounter a case, as in, when I say case, I don't mean nominative, accusative, and dative. What I mean is that whenever you encounter a sentence where you have a plural noun and the article is definitely showing you that the noun is plural, that's where you just blindly use en, no matter what. Okay. Then this section here, exercise D, is a bit interesting because while we do have articles here, I'll highlight them quickly one by one. There is mein, unser, ein, ihr, ein, euer. So we do have these articles, but they still don't really tell us if the noun is masculine or if it's neutral. Now, of course, in this exercise, it has been mentioned in the bracket, but if we did not have any of these indicators, there is no way you would have known, as a beginner, that is, whether the noun is masculine or if it's neutral. Now, if you compare this with the indefinite article, negative article, and the possessive article, when you compare the nominative masculine plus nominative neutral and accusative neutral, all these pretty much share the same article without any spelling change. So mine could be nominative masculine or nominative neutral or accusative neutral. All these 6 articles could be any of these. So what happens here is that even though we do have an article in the sentence, it's as good as not being in the sentence. And this is why here again, we will need to follow table 2 because the article is not showing us the gender. So it becomes the responsibility of the adjective to show us not only the gender, but also the case of all these sentences here. Okay. Is it clear what I'm trying to explain here?
Yes, yes.
All right. So I solved the first 3 sentences. Now, taking the help of the hint, it will be an easier exercise because it's not about whether we know the gender of the nouns or not. We are learning adjective endo. Okay. So because the noun Freund is masculine, article is of no help. So nominative masculine, we use table 2, ER. Similarly, nominative neutral, we used ES for book, neutral noun. And again, nominative masculine, ER for the masculine noun. Okay, then go to the next thing on here.
It's dative neutral. It's en. Oh, sorry, es.
That is correct. Blaues Clyde.
Um, it's nominative masculine.
Mhm.
Nominative
Table 2.
masculine. It's es. I'm sorry, er.
Yeah. Okay, and then
Geschwister oder neutral means es.
perfect. So once again, even though we did have an article in all these 6 sentences, it was as good as not being dead. So, we basically had to relearn and look at what we have here. One blank I missed here in next sentence 3. Again, for object, now fewer is the accusative. preposition. So again, it will take the accusative neutral and miss that. All right. Then on to the next 6 sentences here, where we have the article that is telling us the gender. So going back to what I had talked about, what table do we have to, as in which table we have to use for which case. Table 1 was when that the article is telling us either only the case or only the gender or both case and gender. All these articles here that we have in these 6 sentences do show us the gender, which means we will be again using table 1. Okay, so table 1 is again the table of E and EN. So again, like I had drawn, wait, this is not correct. This part should be a bit bigger, like this, yeah. So nominative, accusative, masculine, feminine, neutrum and plural. Only this part will be E and the rest will be all EN. So der junge Mann, nominative, masculine, and accusative, feminine, EE for both. Eine elegante Frau, accusative, feminine, E. Jedes kleine Kind, nominative, neutral. Could you try the next 3 sentences?
Okay, it's welches Deutsche.
Mhm.
It's a plural, nominative plural, right?
Book is not plural. Book is singular.
Okay, it's not wrong. Okay, so
Interrogative
not.
article is telling us that the gender of this noun is neutral.
Mm, right. Who is there? Jetzt
Let's,
brief.
yeah,
Letzter
yeah.
Brief von Hans. Die nette Frau hat das rote Hemd gekauft.
Okay, then this exercise here, 18 sentences mixed, really. Like some of these will have an article, some won't. Some will have an article, but it won't be of great help. So try to solve this with the help of the 2 tables. And you can just tell me the endings too. Like if you don't want to read the entire sentence, that's fine too. Yeah.
Altes.
Mhm. That is correct.
Kennst du einen guten Guter?
Yeah, Guter. Einen is telling you that the noun is accusative masculine, right?
Accusative masculine. Okay, okay. Guten.
Yeah.
Sandwich patient from freundlicher person.
But jeder is telling you the noun is dative feminine, which makes sense.
Yeah,
Which makes the
that is
telling you
jeder.
it's
Freundlicher.
freundlichen, first table.
Freundlich. Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm. Okay. Eric ist ein Guto, guto,
Or
and guter Freund. Yeah. Hans Street. Brown, no. Brown and Schumann.
no article here. We
No
use
article.
n only when an article tells us that the noun is plural, be it of any case.
Okay.
Yeah. Then
Hmm. Das ist ein runder Tisch.
that is correct.
Dieses kleines,
These is demonstrative article.
klein,
It is telling us
yeah,
the
kleiner,
yeah, that is correct.
trinken Sie kal, kalter Milch.
What about this pupen, that blank here? Kaltemish is milk of
Sorry. Ja. Spielt mit schonen Puppen.
yeah.
Äh, klein, kleinen Kind.
That is correct.
Frischer,
Brute is neutral.
ja, frisches.
Yeah.
Frisches Brot schmeckt sehr gut. Fritz kommt aus einer eher kleiner.
Einer is telling you that it's dative feminine.
Einen
Yeah.
kleinen Stadt.
Yeah.
Ja. Ich kaufe sein schon, schoner.
Now sein,
Less.
yeah. The article
It's
is
not
there, but it's still not telling us the meaning.
ich laufe zu dem kleinen Park
Yeah.
um die Ecke. Herr Schneider braucht einen braucht einen neuer Fenster.
Accusative masculine, and the article is been
Ein,
so
oh,
neuen.
no, einen. Okay. Okay. Ich kaufe diese billiger Uhr.
That's correct.
Haben Sie deutscher Wein? Helfen Sie diesen alten Mann. Letzter, letzter Samstag bin ich 2 Stunden gelaufen.
Okay, now this last part is about the element of time that is used in a sentence, which always takes accusative, whether it's the accusative object or not.
Ja.
The element of time in a sentence is always accusative. All right. Then we'll move on to one more exercise, which is again a mixed exercise here. Okay, so we have total 25 sentences. All right. So starting from one again, ich lese gerade.
Okay, ich lese gerade ein äh, interessantes
Now, ein doesn't tell us if it's nominative masculine, nominative neutral, or accusative neutral. That's why it becomes the responsibility of the adjective to tell us that the noun is neutral.
interessantes. Okay. Das ist ähm, billiger, weil ich kaufe. Ähm, teurer. Weil ich habe diese lustige, lustige Geschichte nicht verstanden. Albert ist ein guter, guter Freund von mir. Es gibt hier leider ähm, keine guten Musik.
Yeah.
There are okay, masculine. There are alter Brown.
There is the case and the gender of the noun, right? So it will be just
Okay,
alter
okay.
brown.
Alter Brown. No, okay. Der er arbeitet in einer kleinen
Yeah. Kleinen Bäcker.
Kirche. Dieser dieser lange,
Lange.
dieser lange Brief ist von meiner französischen Freundin.
That is correct.
Woher hast du dieses? Okay. Bei Schlecht.
Number 9.
Okay. Number 9. Okay. The brown, browner Socken.
Plural. Braunen.
Brownen.
Yeah.
Wir nehmen den gelben Pulli.
Accusative masculine. Gelben.
Gelben. Okay. Oh, yes. Gelben. In dieser Stadt sind viele Schaunen, äh, alten Häuser.
Viele schönen. Well, if we take viele as the article itself, then yeah.
Mhm. Mhm. Okay. Darf mit amerikanischen Geld bezahlt? Peter hat das neue Auto von seiner reichen Eltern bekommen. Okay. Reichen Eltern.
Yeah. 13th.
Woher hast du dieses wunderschöne Bild?
Just
Wunderschön.
wunderschöne, yeah. Just one clarification here. Feeler will
Mhm.
not be taken as an article. It will still be one of the adjectives, just like mehrere, for example. So it will be viele schöne alte Häuser. Okay.
Okay.
Then 15.
Das ist nicht für ein ähm, klein, kleiner Kind.
Kleines, because even though it is
Kleines. I
accusative,
think it's
the ein still doesn't tell us if it's
yeah.
accusative masculine, sorry, accusative neutral or accusative
Right.
masculine, basically.
I'm
So,
getting confused.
yeah.
Okay.
See, the
Uh,
gender of the noun should be reflected in the article. Only
yeah,
then
it should.
we would use the en table. Otherwise, we'll use the other table, table 2.
Hmm. We are a coffee fresh. A coffee. Frishen.
No article, so it will be just an e. Frischer Äpfel.
Frische Äpfel. Und uh, Wärme. Sorry, warmer Brot.
Brot is neutral. Warmes Brot.
Warmes.
Yeah.
Okay, warte. Es ist dein alter Brief
Yeah.
von einigen deutschen Freunden.
Just one.
Bei schlechten, bei schlechtes Wetter bleiben wir zu Hause.
Because by is dative.
Stimmt.
It's a dative
Bei
form.
ist ja.
Okay. And then these sentences here.
19, right?
Yeah.
Ja, wir suchen ein ähm, kleines Haus mit einem großen Garten.
That is correct.
Die andere, anderen Leute sind in äh, ein teuren, äh,
Ein doesn't
nein, teurer Restaurant.
restaurant
Teuer,
neutral.
I'm sorry. What am I looking at? I don't know. I thought it is masculine. Okay, das wünsche dir einen guten Tag.
That is correct.
Say again, preposition.
Yeah.
Du hast doch solche hoffliche Kinder.
Now here, solche will be counted as an article.
Okay.
Solche höflichen Kinder. Such,
Hoffliche Kinder.
basically.
Auf der Party Viel, viele junge Leute getroffen.
Correct. And the last.
Okay. It is the same case as the 11th one, right? Viele. would be as an adjective. Okay. Ich habe alle Italianische.
Alle will be here counted as an article. So allen,
Okay. Alle,
sorry, alle
alle
italienischen Filme. My bad.
Italianische Filme in den letzten 10 Jahren gesehen.
So that's all there is about adjective endo. Now, one
Oh,
last thing about what makes a word an article. So I'll just write some examples, some of which we already saw. So definite article, indefinite article, possessive article, negative article. On the same note, we also had demonstrative interrogative article. Then jeder and its equivalent. So jedes, jedem, everything. Then manch. So that's mancher, mancher, manches, and so on. Again, like we saw here, solch, solch, solche, solche, solchem. And both alle as well as beide. These will be considered as articles. Feel is just like any other adjective, similar to einige. This will also be considered as just another adjective. Okay, as well as vinegar, for example. As in, these will be just adjectives, really. It will seem a bit confusing, but wherever you encounter feel, einig, wenig, it will always be an adjective.